the Long Island Tea Podcast.
I can't believe it.
3 years strong.
3 years strong.
We start every episode with saying, how you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
We're at the Gurney's Seawater Spa. We're at the incredible Ahika Castle.
We are on the beautiful Shelter Island.
At the Selfie Clubhouse. I mean, when do you get the chance to have Adventureland yourself?
Taste of Long Island. We have Besito.
Hi, neighbors. How are you?
Woo! Welcome back to another episode of the Long Island Tea, where we spill the tea on living your best Long Island life. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Sharon. Welcome back.
Hey.
Back home.
Back in black. Yours.
We're back in black. In the studio.
Yes. Thank God,
good.
Because the studio is where we thrive. Loved Gurney's, by the way. But the sound, we had like a portable machine.
We had some technical
for our hot teas
difficulties.
that dealt with last week's episode, we apologize. And Ted, our good friend Ted, came out and handled all the technical difficulties with us. But we've ordered a new machine.
Yep.
For remotes.
We'll be fine.
That won't happen again.
That won't happen again. I love Ted.
He's great.
He's so great.
You know what he did so well is he said, how you doing?
How you doing? Right? He really did.
He nailed it.
And
And the Irish accent,
Oh my
too.
God.
How does
Well,
he
you
do
were
all
like,
that?
he's like a chameleon.
He is.
And he was. Like, he turned Irish real quick and New Yorker real quick.
We had so much fun after the event because, he drove in from Cape Cod, and he'd never, since he was 14.
I loved that story, though. So cute.
Had not been to Long Island, so took him to Oldfield Steakhouse in Port Jefferson, downtown
Lovely.
Port Jeff, which is like so good all the time, staple. And then he met up with his friend he's known since he was 14.
Good.
And they went to Arlo Kitchen.
Oh, lovely.
He was like, have you been to this place, Arlo? Because this place is amazing.
love
I'm
it.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. Country
That's
Corner.
awesome.
He was like, because he stayed an extra day. I had to go. I was like, was it when I was at UBS Arena? I don't remember. Anyway, but I didn't get to see him the last day. And he stayed and spent time with his friends. And he was like, I love Long Island. And again, he's my good friend. He's heard me talk about it a million zillion times on stage, personally, at conferences. And he was like, I just couldn't believe how big it was.
Right.
How diverse it was. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right.
That's
That's what
what
we're
we try to
people.
tell you. It's so funny because I was listening back to, the clip of us when we're like, when you try and talk about Long Island to other people, and then they actually experience it for real in real life, and they're still mind blown.
Yes.
Which
exactly.
is so cool.
People think that they know about Long Island, but they have no idea. So that was fun. And Gurney's was so awesome.
Oh my gosh.
We hung out after, and Ashley brought like burgers, and I had to eat like a quick cheese platter because I had that beautiful espresso drink from Scarpetta's.
Yes.
And I hadn't eaten all day.
Right,
So
it was
I'm
so
like, I'm going to
delicious.
sit here and eat a couple of slices of salami
Yeah,
and cheese
get
before.
some food in me.
Yeah, exactly. But it was, what wonderful hospitality.
Wonderful hospital. I mean, from the start to the finish, she met us in the lobby, walked in, she waited. It was just so amazing.
And that view.
I love them.
It just, to me, Gurney's, it never gets old.
It never gets
And we walked down to the beach after.
Oh,
and
you
took some
did?
pictures.
Aw.
Yeah, it was just a
Because
beautiful.
when I had left, I had to rush out because of the time it was going to take me to get home. And it started downpouring. Like downpouring.
Oh, I
and
must
I
have
was like,
missed that.
It was crazy. But that's Long Island, right?
Yeah.
So it's Montauk. It's beautiful. And then
Right.
I'm driving through Southampton and I'm like in a, torrential.
For me, I'm out on the beach.
You're hanging out
I'm
on
like,
the
"Oh,
beach.
This is beautiful.
But yeah, no, it was an incredible experience as always at Gurney's. And we couldn't thank them enough.
Yeah, it
their
was.
hospitality.
It's always wonderful, and again, it proves that there's no bad time of year to go to the East End in general,
Yeah.
not just Gurney's, but all throughout the Hamptons, the North Fork, the South Fork. In fact, might be the best time of year to
Yeah.
go because it was less crowds and all that. And so, speaking of, we're not alone, Sharon, in our love of
Turns
Gurney's.
out we are preaching to the choir.
Yeah, because we did a giveaway last week. We had 3 different giveaways.
Right.
It's an overnight stay, value of $1,000. It's dinner at Scarpetta's, and another one was a spa
spa treatment, a 60-minute massage.
I mean, so we're like, yeah, thank you, Gurney's. This is wow.
The impact.
I like broke the internet.
Yeah. I mean, doubled, I believe Michael was saying, from our last giveaway last year. And we had a double amount of entries.
Michael, give us...
The best part
go
is,
ahead.
I'm sorry, is that there's still time.
Oh.
And it ends on the April 3rd
Right.
is when we're calling the winner. So
Right. So if you're listening to this the day it launches, good for you.
Yeah.
Because you've still got
It's
time.
still enter.
Michael, how are we looking on the giveaway?
So in 24 hours, 11,271 entries.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And there's about 2,000 new hot teas here.
Oh, that's
Oh,
wonderful.
I love
Welcome,
it.
Hot Teas.
Welcome.
Wow, thank you, Gurney's. Gurney's is powerful.
Seriously.
I'll tell you that.
And some people had reached out. Like this happened last year, and usually when we do giveaways, they're like, "Oh my God, it's my mom's birthday. It would be really amazing if I win." Or my dad just got over surgery. It would be, and I feel so terrible just reading them. I'm just like, we wish you the best of luck. It's all random.
It's a random generator.
It's a random generator, and we post it so everybody can see.
You can see how we
But
picked
there's
the
three
person.
prizes, so there's three different
Yeah,
winners.
there's
Three
three
entries,
chances.
which is
There's
awesome.
3
Yeah.
chances. Oh my gosh. I hope those people that really want it so badly win. I mean, that's so awesome.
I want it so badly.
I know
but I
we
can't enter.
We can't enter, unfortunately, and we really do it randomly, and we put it all. It's all very
Yeah.
transparent. You can watch it. It's a random selector that picks the winner, and we really. Oh my gosh, I'm like rooting for people
I know.
now. This is awesome.
11,000 entries.
And
That's incredible.
that's 24 hours. So
I
by
know.
the time this airs, that's amazing, and we have 2,000 new followers.
I love it.
In 24 hours. Thank you again, Gurney's. And by the way, so don't worry if you don't win, because we've got another giveaway today, but with our taste of. Thank
I
you.
love
I
it.
can't think the words out. Sharon, you tell us about our taste of Long Island
so
this
our
week.
taste of Long Island this week is from Harbor Pet in Greenport. Harbor Pet started in 2015. Kim Loper eventually purchased its 2-story location to utilize the additional space, allowing Harbor Pet to offer more merchandise and services. They offer natural dog treats and toys and all things fun for your pet. I love it.
I have to tell you, okay, I love Harbor Pet. I have been there many times before they were ever even a partner
I
of
love
Discover
this.
Long Island, because they're right in the heart of Greenport, downtown Greenport. They're right across the street from, like, do you know where La Chorritos?
Yes.
Is that how you say?
Yeah.
It's where they are.
Wow.
Great location. If you're ever just strolling around, they have a prime location.
Yeah.
And of course, I go in there because I have my pupsters,
Yeah.
Duke and little Thomas, who I love so much. And they're known for their treats,
Right.
That are like handmade. I've purchased them before, long before they were ever a partner. So this is not a paid
ad.
Let me tell you, for my dogs. And we were just joking because I'm like, I'm starving today. You could actually eat them.
You could. I watched the news. They were just recently featured on News 12, and they had a video of how they, how she makes them in the bakery. And they're made of like all natural ingredients: oats, peanut butter, banana puree.
Yes.
Like amazing. I'm hungry.
I mean, this is really for the pampered pet. Okay.
Yes.
You love your pet. You love your dog. These treats they're amazing, and they're good. They've got good, wholesome ingredients for your pet. You're not giving them anything weird, like
artificial
Exactly.
flavors. But I love the name. Life is Gruff.
Yeah,
that's so cute.
Her bakery is called Life is Gruff. It's a treat bakery, and she makes them all. And then I think she started Harbor Pet to like grow the bakery into
Right.
an actual business. And by the way, they have the cutest collars, leashes,
so cute.
all different designs. Again, and then they do grooming there as well. And the other cool thing that they do is, like, for those in the right circle that are there with their boats, enjoying their boats that are pulled up to the harbor, you can leave your dog. They'll do
wow.
hourly boarding.
Babysitting. Oh my God, that's so
While
cute.
you go out in the boat.
That's awesome.
And again, this is pampering. It's the cutest store. If you have not been in there, you have to go in there.
That's adorable. I love it. So we are actually going to be giving away
Treats and toys. They gave us a bunch of toys to display, as you can see here. I love this crab. Is the cutest thing ever.
It's so cute.
It's bigger than little Thomas.
I know. Like, I'm trying to think what dog would actually
Which
be able
dog
to.
is
But
gonna want
it
that?
could be like a pillow.
And then they've got this little lamb chop. If you're old enough to know Lamb Chop, the puppet, so cute. And then all the way down to this teeny tiny little turtle for like
cute.
little tiny puppies and a bone. And we're also we're throwing in the giveaway,
Doggy
one
bandana.
of our bandanas, Long Island Where You Belong,
love it.
doggy
So cute.
bandanas. And again, some of these amazing treats that are like you could literally eat them. I mean, they're good. Your dog's gonna be
good.
like, it might take your dog. It took my dog actually a second to get used to them
Because they're so
because they're like real fit.
right, real.
My dog looks at
That's
me
what
like,
I
am
was
I
gonna say,
supposed
it's
to be?
not artificial.
Duke looked at me and he was like, am I supposed to be eating this?
Aww.
I'm like, is this for me? Are you
so
sure? Because if your dogs aren't used to eating like table food, really,
Right.
He was like, is this? No. Anyway, I love Harbor Pet. So Kim and the team there, thank you so much for giving it away to our hot teas.
Absolutely. And you can find them at harbor-pet.com. Again, that's harbor-pet.com.
And also, if you want to know where to go to the store, like I told you, it's in downtown Greenport, but you can easily find them on the Discover Long Island app.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I know. So a little bit, thank you for that giveaway too. We're just keeping the giveaways going for our hot teas. We're just like, this is what we're trying to do. We're letting
We're
you
here
live
for
your
yous.
your best Long Island life. And also, Sharon, our bandana that we have, you can get them on the Discover Long Island shop, the little doggy bandana.
Yes,
if
they're
you don't win
adorable.
it, go on shop.discoverlongisland.com. You can get our adorable little Where You Belong doggy bandana. And today actually is Autism Awareness Day. And little known fact, we work a lot with Spectrum,
Right.
who is a wonderful local Long Island company
Yeah.
that hires people on the autism spectrum. And they do a lot of our merch. They do our sweatshirts. They do our bandana.
I love it.
We've got some new apparel coming
I
out.
can't wait.
I want to spill the tea yet.
Right.
But then we do it all through Spectrum. And so we want to thank our friends at Spectrum for being such a wonderful local company that supports people with autism.
I love it.
Okay. So it's what else you got going on with Long Island Life?
So Spring Long Island Restaurant Week kicks off Sunday, April 7th.
Oh,
Did
that's
you know
awesome.
that they did a spring version?
No.
That's so awesome.
But I know they do it a few times a year.
Right. I
And
thought it was mostly around like the holidays, right?
Yeah. But what a great time to get out and about.
Definitely check out some of our partners, Bayberry and Islip, City Cellar in Westbury, Calissa and Watermill, Arlo Kitchen we talk about a lot.
Yes,
We
love
love them.
Chops in Patchogue,
Mm-hmm.
and Drift 82 in Patchogue, and one of our favorites, oldie but goodie, love it, H2O Seafood and Sushi in Smithtown. I go there. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I love 'em.
It's right on the main road, and they have a nice outdoor patio.
Yeah, because
It's a
spring.
good vibe. Yes, it's a good
The weather's
vibe.
getting better. I mean, I can't wait.
Yeah, Long Island Restaurant Week, spring edition, definitely. And by the way, if you want more on any of this, you can go to discoverlongisland.com/blog. Check out our blog.
Check out our
We
blogs.
tell you all about
Yeah.
all the different restaurants, and there's more on the blog than what we just spewed off. But I'm ready for spring. Let's do this. There's a lot going on. There's also, you know what else is in spring? And it's the week of April 12th through 22nd is Long Island Wine Week.
What a good time of year.
Okay, this is Long Island Wine Country. You can go to lawines.com. But the cool thing is they're doing that whole week. They're doing 2-for-1 tastings at select vineyards,
that's
which is like a lot. I
amazing.
think it's like over 20 vineyards
Yeah.
are participating. And interestingly enough, it's tax week.
I was just going to say that it couldn't come at a better time for tax season when all the accountants are like, all right, everything's in, we're good. I need I need a drink.
When you get that final number of the taxes that you
Yeah.
owe this year, like us, I'll be like, and time to go to wine country.
Yes.
And thank
Pick
God,
me a good
and
vineyard.
they're going to save you a little money with some
Yeah,
2-for-1.
that's
so
good.
At least you'll get that back in your pocket.
Oh my goodness. You know what else is happening? Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame announced their 20th anniversary concert honoring our very own Billy Joel on June 7th at the Tillis Center in Brookville.
I'm super excited about this.
Right?
This is an all-star lineup.
All-star.
As soon as
All-star
yeah.
Long Island lineup.
Oh,
right?
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Debbie Gibson.
Of course.
Mike Del Giudice.
Yes, he's iconic, and he goes and sings with Billy Joel all the
Yeah.
time. He's a cover band, but Billy Joel will have him. He's played with Billy Joel,
Right. At
Madison Square
Madison
Garden.
Square
Yeah,
Garden.
no,
I was
he
gonna say
plays
that.
with him all the time,
Yeah.
and like some Run DMC.
Yeah.
one of the Run DMC guys.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like it's awesome.
It's crazy.
and Billy Joel's daughter, Alexa Joel.
Alexa Joel.
She's gonna perform, of course, because it's honoring Billy.
I
Billy,
wouldn't say that he's,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he shows.
Well,
if his
of course.
daughter's performing.
Of course.
you know,
I think Billy's going to be there for something honoring him at the Tilla Center, and that's done by the Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame. If you've not been there yet, it's in Stony Brook Village, and they have a whole Billy Joel exhibit.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And
but
it's
this
incredible.
is on June 7th, so that is awesome. Also, real quick, remember when Snooki opened her store?
Yeah.
Have you been yet?
Right in Huntington. No, I
Yeah,
haven't
you
yet.
got to go.
I got to go get that leopard.
I know. I feel like, and another housewife, a New Jersey housewife, Melissa Gorga, just opened her store, her boutique in Huntington.
What is with Huntington?
I know. It's called Envy.
Oh, I love it.
I was going to say I would go there, but I don't know if I can, I feel like she has more like that posh style.
Okay.
She's more like Posh Spice. But I feel like she's super skinny, so I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know if I can fit anything. Not that it's all going to be her size, but like,
Stop.
I know, but I love her style.
Yeah,
She's
that's awesome.
Very stylish. So
I love Huntington. Just
I
being like
know.
up
We should
and
do like
thriving.
a Huntington shop day.
Yes.
Hit all the Snooki and Melissa Gorga
Yes,
shops.
and then we can end at Prime.
Yes, or Farm Italy.
Yes.
I'm
on.
gonna go
It's
shopping
on.
and then eat. I'm like,
Go
I
buy
can't
all these
fit in
beautiful
this.
clothes from Envy
So
and-
let's go eat something. Obviously,
Let's have some
But
sushi.
I love that. Like you're right. Like Huntington is like the
Thriving.
place,
It's
the
thriving right now.
place for all the reality TV people.
It's like mini Manhattan.
It is, and it's also Women's Month. And it's interesting. I was watching News 12 this morning, and they were honoring the supervisor of the town of Islip.
Oh, okay.
Is Angie Carpenter.
Yes.
And she's in her last term. She's had a successful legislative and treasurer and now supervisor career for like 30 years. She's
Right.
elected official. But I did not realize that she is the first woman elected town supervisor in the town of Islip in 300 years.
What?
I mean, wow.
Wow, that is
Honestly,
incredible.
I mean, I knew that, I don't know. I felt like I knew that, but when I saw the interview with her, I was like, well, that is really amazing. She has a prestigious career anyway. And I liked what she said. They had this whole wall of all the supervisors from history.
Wow.
And, all
300
men.
years.
All men. And she said, she's like, I do a lot of tours here with Girl Scout groups and other groups. And I
that's so
tell them,
cute.
you can be anything you want. Look at this wall. And never let anything hold you down.
Yeah.
And she said, she's like, look, being a woman, she felt like has never held her from achieving her dreams.
Right.
But she's like, but every now and then it smacks you in the face.
Aw, it
and I was
does,
like,
yeah.
that's true.
It is true. Oh, that's good.
I like the way she
really
phrased that.
good.
But I was like, wow, that is really an accomplishment. So celebrating a Long Island woman at the town of Islip, which if you're not a Long Islander, that's where Long Island MacArthur Airport is.
Yes, our regional airport.
Yes, and Ronkonkoma, and it's where our convention center
It's
and
gonna
Midway
be.
Crossing is going to go. So
can't
it's
wait.
really pretty much the heart
Yeah.
of Long
It is
Island.
the heart and center
Yeah,
of Long Island.
exactly.
Absolutely.
So excited about that. I was like, wow,
That is
good,
incredible
good for her.
news.
So cheers to Supervisor Carpenter for her still ongoing successful career, but also for continuing to break barriers for women in public office and public service. And speaking of public service, some sad news.
Oh, so sad.
It's really horrible. NYPD officer Jonathan Diller from Massapequa Park was recently killed in the line of duty in Queens, just doing a traffic stop.
It's just so sad. So sad. I mean, literally, I have family in NYPD, and it's just, you never know. And just watching the coverage of his services and his candle vigils and these things that the community is so involved in.
And he's young.
He's super young.
And
He
has
leaves a wife and a baby.
1-year-old baby. And you're just like, we just never, you can't take for granted the danger
You can't.
that our first responders, police
Absolutely.
officers, firefighters put themselves in every single day for our safety.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, the way, I don't go too much into detail, but he was approaching a parked car
Yeah.
that was illegally parked.
I mean,
it's just so
really,
sad.
why? It's never worth someone's life. And so, thinking about his family,
Yes.
all of his family, and the entire
community,
community
yeah.
of Massapequa and Massapequa Park.
If you've seen the coverage, like it brought back so many memories for the other
somebody else,
officer
yeah.
9 years ago, just a similar situation. But I did see that they had a GoFundMe page and they've raised an incredible amount of money
I saw
for this
that.
family.
Did you see
it?
it?
It was incredible.
So I love to see that. I saw it's about $500,000 they've
Yeah.
already raised for his
Yeah.
family, and they're going to need it.
They're going to need it.
They're going to need it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, on Long Island, we always talk about how we love our veterans. We also love our first responders, you know, NYPD, our police officers, our firefighters. So many Long Islanders are in NYPD or New York City FDNY, but also here locally, Suffolk County. We just want to thank them for what they do for us every day.
Absolutely.
So cheers to them and thinking about his family. And please just be kind, you know,
every day.
you know, even if you're getting that speeding ticket, which you probably deserve.
Right.
You know you do.
You know you do.
And if you did deserve it this time, you deserved it in the past.
Yes,
Just be nice. Be nice to those officers. They're out there risking their life for us. Okay. And there's some cool stuff going on in April too.
So yeah, this is funny.
Are you excited about this eclipse?
I'm excited. I don't think we're going to be able to see it.
No. So on Long Island, we only have the partial eclipse viewing.
But have you noticed on the what are the reader boards, I guess, on the parkways and highways where they're like, take mass transit, the solar eclipse is April 8th. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
If we're not going to be able to see, like,
People
don't
are
drive.
like upstate in Rochester and Albany and upstate, our colleagues there, they have been planning for this for years.
Yeah.
And they have been sold
Because
out
what is it? Like,
forever.
the next one's not going to be for another
This is
45
the only
years,
one in our
right?
life. I think they said this is in our lifetime. This is the next, I don't know what, but it's what, April 8th?
Yeah, April 8th.
And it's full. The pathway where you can see the full thing is upstate New York.
Yeah.
And man, don't even go up there.
Nope.
They're like, don't come
Sold
here.
out.
They're like Kamala, do not come.
Do not come.
Do not come. Because it's wild.
It is wild.
They're busing people from Albany
Maybe that's what they mean by take mass transit.
to get there.
I guess.
I
'Cause I'm
guess.
like, why?
But here on Long Island, we may be able, if it's not cloudy,
But
it's going to be cloudy.
it's going to be cloudy.
We're like, it's going to be cloudy. Don't wish for clouds. Don't wish
Also,
for
like
clouds.
apparently pay attention to the glasses that you purchase, like to see it for viewing purposes.
Yeah.
It's very important to get the proper.
It is. And,
glasses.
did you know that I Love New York is giving them away at the Welcome Center?
Yeah.
So if you go to the Long Island Welcome Center, and the Welcome Center is all across the state.
Yeah.
I Love New York has free eclipse classes for you.
It's so cool.
So Tegan is in astronomy, and she said that her professor went and got them all glasses.
Oh, that's
So she's like,
awesome.
"Who's watching this eclipse with me?"
Aw.
And I'm like, "I'll do it." But get this, you don't have to wait for the eclipse. Although everyone's pumped about it, it's
Super
going to be all
pumped.
anyone's talking about, because our good friends who we love at the Vanderbilt Museum in Centerport have an eclipse show on Friday, April 5th, where they're going to simulate it.
Simulate it, which that's awesome and super safe, and
Just go to that.
just go to that.
And like, this is what it is. And then don't stare directly in the sun if you don't have the glasses.
Right, exactly.
Don't look at it.
Super important. I don't know. It's wild to me. Also, April 5th, though, enough about the eclipse. The Writers and Readers Festival at Adelphi University in Garden City. That sounds
Very
awesome.
cool. Yep. If you don't want to stare, if you want to look down at your book instead of up at the sky. I know.
Exactly. Saturday, April 6th, Patty Lupone, A Life in Notes at the Stoller Center.
Very cool. And Long Island, this is
You
one
love
of my,
this.
this is my favorite. I always talk about the Cradle of Aviation Museum, and they have the best 80s games.
It's like it's arcades, right? Arcade tabletop.
Yes, and they have a tabletop gaming expo on Saturday, April 6th. It's the Tabletop Gaming Expo 2024. I just love going to this museum. I love that the lunar modules that they have there. Yeah. It's amazing. I love looking at the history of aviation, especially Women's Month.
Right.
They have a lot about females in aviation that were trailblazers. I'm obsessed with the Cradle of Aviation Museum. It was like
Itself,
you nerd
it's
out when you
awesome.
go there. But then you just get to play like Frogger and
Yeah,
Donkey
Pac-Man.
Kong and all. I mean,
So cool.
Galaga. I mean, they have the coolest setup of all the arcade games.
I love it.
And you get to go watch people
awesome.
compete.
Right.
I love the Cradle of Aviation. That's a fun event.
That is. Sunday, April 7th is the Spring Fling Mini Fest at the Clubhouse in East Hampton. This is a cool place.
You were telling me about
So
this.
it's a
I was
concert
like, what?
venue. It's like a venue.
Yeah.
And John Bon Jovi's played there before and on like a random Wednesday night. It's a really cool place.
I was like, what is this? We've got to go there.
I know.
Yeah,
We're
you're
gonna
like
get the lineup.
The Clubhouse in East Hampton,
Yeah.
and they're a new partner of Discover Long Island. So thanks for coming on, and we're gonna find out more about you. In fact, we're gonna go there. We're going right after this, Sharon.
Yes.
Speaking
I can't
of,
wait.
I'm like, and if we're rushed hot teas, it's because we have a very fun thing
got
happening
plans.
right
We
after
got
this.
plans.
We're going to the tap room. Is like our little happy hour team.
get
The
together.
fun. We have a fun committee
Which is so cool.
here at Discover Long Island.
Right?
Yes, of course. Love the fun committee.
Love the fun committee. They're awesome.
Yeah, because we care about keeping morale up and everybody
Yeah.
having fun and bonding.
Yeah, and I think it's important for us to do some like team building
bonding.
and
Yeah.
bonding, and just after like the first quarter of the year, like after
Yeah.
all the work and
It's been so busy.
pressure and everything like that, it's nice to get together and just kind of relax with each other. And
Yeah. So thanks.
Enjoy our
We're going to go to the
partner.
tap room in Bayshore, right?
Yeah, my hometown.
Yeah, because I was at first. Shannon was like talking about the parking, like, "Oh, I'm going to tell everyone about parking," and I was like, "Oh, there's like the municipal building right next to it has free parking," and she's looking at me like I have 3 heads. I'm like, "What are you talking?" And then I'm thinking about there's a tap room in Patchogue.
Yes, yeah.
There's like several tap
There's
rooms.
a couple locations.
And I think there's one, in fact, when I was taking the train from Ronkonkoma the other day,
Mm-hmm.
they have that new amazing station yards and that housing development.
Yeah.
There's one going up there. They have the signs.
Oh, so cool.
They're coming up everywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a really cool venue.
I'm
super excited.
starving. I'm about to eat these dog treats from
Yeah,
Harbor Pet.
exactly.
And so I'm excited to go hang out with the team and have
Yeah,
fun.
that's
So,
awesome.
and we need it because it's been a crazy start to the year. So I'm excited about that. But it's been nice this week because it's like I've been in the office.
I know. It's so nice to have you.
And in the office and not like back to back to back to
Right,
back,
exactly.
where I'm like having meetings. It's been great. I've been talking to everybody.
Yeah,
We're like
getting
Yeah.
downloads, and I think it's been great to have
been
you
a
here
me too,
because
yeah.
you're going to be gone again, traveling away.
I'll be in Boston next
Mm-hmm.
week, so I'm gonna miss the pod next week.
Yeah,
because
it's
I'll
gonna
be at the
Alyssa and I next week. I think.
Yeah. So next week I'll be at the CEO Summit, which is
So
in
cool.
Boston.
So cool.
I'm really excited because it's my counterparts from all over the country.
Yeah.
They get together and we talk about like really high level like visions of DMOs, what people are doing, what the trends are, what the latest
What everybody's-
technology
Yeah.
or whatever.
You always come back with such
I
great
know. I'm
ideas.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And plus, Boston is such a cool city.
Yeah.
I love their tourism slogan that they just. My counterpart there is Marcia. Sorry, and she's so amazing. She came from Providence, and now she's in Boston, and they just launched their new campaign. Boston, it never gets old.
I love it. That's awesome.
How smart is that?
Yes.
This is what I love about tourism
Yes.
and marketing. I'm like that when you can do something that like nails it is so smart. And it's like vibrant, but it also plays on the history.
Yeah.
And their culture and the diversity that they have there.
That's so awesome.
I'm excited to see what they have. And they take us all. We're going to go to the New Balance, like downtown center,
That's
sponsored
so
by New Balance. I
cool.
know. I'm
That's
trying to figure out
awesome.
like what do I wear to that?
I know.
I'm trying to figure that out.
You got
I
any
don't
New
know.
Balance?
I don't have any New Balance. But like, anyway, I'm trying to figure. So I'll come back with a lot of stories from that. I think where I see
100%.
everybody.
And I love that because this is when you come back with like super great ideas for the
team
organization.
was like, here we go.
We're nervous, but we're also at the same time like eager to hear what you have to say when you come back
Yeah.
because it's like you come back with like such great.
I'm always like, we should be
visionary
doing
things.
this,
Yeah.
and this, and this, and this, and everyone's like, oh dear God.
Here we go. It's so funny though, like talking of slogans and things, and how many. Our slogan is where you belong, right?
Yes,
so how
I
many
still love
times
it.
I still love it, but everybody's like taking it.
Stealing it.
Stop and Shop.
Stop and Shop. You belong at Stop and
Yep.
Shop? No
Yep,
way.
Swear. I was food shopping and I hear them over the speaker. Normally I'm like jamming out to the music.
Yeah.
And I hear them and they're like, have you ever dreamed of working for a place that has great benefits and great opportunities where you make your own, hours and shifts? Well, this is Stop and Shop is where you belong. And I'm like, what?
My eyes just started twitching.
I know.
We have so many. We had Where You Belong in 2018. By the way,
Yes.
that's when we launched our campaign. And listen, we're that good.
We're that good.
How many people? I remember the first time somebody tried to copy. Do you remember that? Or full on copied us.
Full
And
on.
it was like where you can be this and you can be that and you can be this. I'm like, that is literally
They
you
still
came,
use it, by the way. I still see it on the
Like you
commercials.
came to our launch and you just took it. Okay. I mean, listen,
Cool.
what do they say? Like,
what is it?
imitation is the
Is
best form of
flattery.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. So, and listen, we can't trademark, unfortunately, Where You Belong.
Right.
But we do have the logo trademark. We had to
Yes.
do that recently too. Someone had taken our logo,
Yes.
the Long Island part, and used it for their social media. I think people just like it. It
Yeah,
wasn't,
it's just,
you know.
yeah, and they immediately took it down when we requested it, so
Yeah,
it was
I'm like,
good. But
you can't use that. Sorry, but no. Look. I love that our materials are so great.
Yeah.
But I also love, being inspired by my peers and seeing other success stories. And I'm like super proud to be in this industry amongst so many brilliant thinkers. And when I'm gone, you and Alyssa.
Yeah, we're going to be at Urban Air. I'm excited.
I'm super bummed I'm missing
I
that,
know,
by the way.
I know.
I love Urban Air. My
It's
kids
so cool.
I remember when it opened.
Yeah.
And my kids, that place is, have you been there?
Yeah, it's always
You're like, yeah, of course.
popping. Like, no matter. Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's
I don't
gonna be wild.
It's going to be wild. I'm
Because
excited.
it's spring break
Yeah.
time. So it's going to be like, speaking of Alyssa co-hosting the pod with you, which is going to be super fun. We also have some tea to spill a little bit that we had some shifting of the organization, some roles as we're always evolving here at Discover Long Island. And Michael is our new official podcast producer.
Welcome, Michael.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just honored, and you guys know that I do podcast producing outside of Discover Long Island, and I'm just so grateful that the first podcast that I ever got to work with, now I can step into a larger role. So I'm just excited.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Congratulations.
Yes, we introduced Michael to the podcasting world, and now he's like a big podcast producer out there with a bunch of celebs.
Yeah.
And Alyssa still involved. Like I said, she's still co-hosting with
she's
us.
coming.
She's the creative director here at Discover Long Island, and the reality is, with our new budget, we're like, Alyssa is doing so much more. In fact, we just approved today. We have a new booth at our huge international trade show that we're going to. It's the largest international trade show in the country, held by U.S. Travel, and we have a new booth that she designed, and it is. I'll show.
I've seen it. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And
It's gorgeous. I'm so excited to unveil it.
I just love that, when we talked about it the other day and you were like, this is what this, and this. And then literally like a day later, she just developed it and it was everything you envisioned.
I was like, this is perfect.
Perfect. This is
I
exactly
love
what
it.
I needed.
And I honestly can't wait to unveil it.
I know it's going to be gorgeous.
And
Because it's huge. The booth is huge.
The booth is it's funny. It's the same. It's funny. It's the same size booth we always
Wow.
get. It's a double booth. But I was saying we have some partners coming this year. And in the past, we haven't had the budget. And so we've had like this little
backdrop.
this little like roll up piece of fabric that we drop down. And now we actually have a real legitimate booth. And it's really exciting. And we finally look like we belong.
Right.
With all of our competitors that are going to be there from every destination in the country that's showcasing, to the international markets. And we've had like this piece of fabric.
Right.
Which we've done our best always, but now we actually are going to be like, I'm super excited.
We're there.
I
We're
saw
there.
it. Anyway, so Alyssa has more on her plate. But she's still, of course, a hot tea, and we're excited to see where Michael's going to take us.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any celebrity?
No, I just think we should touch on Kate Middleton a little bit. And just,
Whoa, dude, I was texting you immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, breaking news. I'm like,
oh my
Sharon.
gosh. Well, we found her.
Well, I'm so glad she came out with that video.
Absolutely. I think that I understand 100% why she was so private for so long. But, I'm so sad for her that she's going through this. But at the same time, glad that she's able to go through it and
Get
getting treatment.
Yeah.
And
what a brave man. She is
Brave.
so, this is why the entire world was obsessed with where she is.
right.
Because we love her so much.
Right, exactly.
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And this is why I was like, I'm really worried about her. I just need her to be okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm really, I was so impressed with her poise, the way she delivered that. That woman is a rock star. I
Yeah.
just love her. Made me love her even more.
Yeah, definitely.
So now we're all rooting for Kate. I just love her. What an incredible woman. Okay. So speaking of women power, okay, you're not going to, Michael, do you watch The Bachelor? Do you watch The Bachelor? I don't know if you do.
I do not.
Okay.
It's just
It's
love
not-
shows it's where I
That's
have
where-
to.
you don't watch
Really?
Love is Blind?
No.
No,
come
because
on.
I for some weird, strange reason, I almost like imagine myself being on that show competing for somebody
yeah.
to like, while other people are too. Like, could you imagine doing that? Like,
No.
not on camera. I mean, at least they're getting paid, but
Yeah.
it's just not for me.
I
Not for
couldn't
me.
imagine doing it, but did you hear anything about the Bachelor finale? No. Okay, so I am obsessed with this story. I was talking to the girls. I was literally telling Kenzie and her roommates about it and like going through what happened. And they're like, "Are you going to talk about this in your podcast?" I'm like, "Of course I am." So I love, love, love. They made history on this Bachelor finale. And even if you have never watched The Bachelor, I think if you're bored and you have an hour or so, watch the finale.
Okay.
You don't need to know anything before that. It comes down to these two girls, Daisy and Kelsey.
Okay.
And as usual, they're both gorgeous. They're both, incredible, professional, just really amazing women.
Right.
And The Bachelor did a good job this time too. He was cute, Joey, and I thought he did a really good job. He had a lot of empathy. He wasn't cringy. He wasn't telling all the girls the same thing. I feel like he was really empathetic and careful with his words. So at the finale, the interesting thing is you had Daisy, who was like little farm girl, so cute, but it's so sweet. And her story was that she had Lyme disease that was undiagnosed for years.
Wow.
For like 10, 11 years. She was sick for a really long time at a pivotal time in her life. And so she's deaf. She went almost totally deaf. And so she has a cochlear implant.
Okay.
And she just is still kind of getting used to learning how to use it
Yeah.
and hearing. And so just a really amazing story. And everyone just like America was in love with her. Right.
Aw.
And then the other girl, Kelsey, she gives me total Julia Roberts vibes.
Okay.
Like a different kind of beauty. But so sweet and also really just kind. And her mom passed away from cancer a couple of years ago. And so she's been navigating how to, go through something like potentially getting engaged and falling in love and not having her mom,
Yeah.
So both of them were so sweet and they were really good friends to Michael's point, and they were competing. And it came down to the hometowns where they went to see the mom and the family.
Yeah.
And it was kind of awkward because Joey's mom like was literally hugging Daisy, and she's like, "I would be honored to have you as my daughter-in-law." And they're in the audience watching the finale, right? And then Kelsey was like this. She's like the striking beauty, and they had a different dynamic. And they kept saying like, "What if it's not you? Are you okay?"
Oh man.
So it was interesting, but she kept her spirits up. And then they had their final date, and this is really interesting because Daisy, the sweet farm girl, they made a wish, and she's like, "My wish is to be with you forever." And he was like, "My wish is that no matter what happens, we both find happiness." She was like,
There's your sign.
And again, being careful with his words.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay." And then he was just being very careful the whole last date. And then it shows him with Kelsey, and he's like, she's like, "I'm just a little worried." He's like, "Don't lose hope,
Yeah.
believe in the possibilities." But they don't know what's going on. Right. So then, but usually the way it works is they ride to the altar at the end. Whoever gets out first,
That's how you know.
That's how you know. They go up, and he says, "You're not the one," and the next one he proposes to. So it goes. The drama was
Right.
But they're both getting ready. They both look gorgeous. They're both amazing. And then Daisy's just like, something eats up at me, like his words. I'm in my head. So it shows her knocking on the door, and you think it's going to be to Joey, and it was to Kelsey.
Oh.
She goes and knocks on her door, and they like hug, and they were such good, close. And what a crazy situation.
Yeah, that's wild.
They both want to get engaged to the same man. They're both in
Wild.
love with the same man.
Yeah.
But they both spoke so highly of each other the entire process, even with the family. And she's like, "Hi," and she's like, "You look so beautiful. You look so beautiful." She's like, "Can I just ask you? Can I talk to you? On your last date, how did you feel?" And she was like, "I thought it was great. I felt really validated with my feelings." And Daisy was like, "I didn't feel validated,
Yeah.
And so she knew.
Right.
She knew. So then it shows them like riding to the altar, and it shows them like one person, and then it pans out, and they rode together. They rode together, and they held hands the whole way to the thing. And then it shows Daisy walking up, so she knew she got out first. They did that for each other, so they didn't have to wonder.
Cute.
And so Daisy gave her thing, like he gave her speech. She said, "Okay, I know it's not me. I hope, congratulations," which was so brave of her and strong. And she handled it with such poise and grace. And then she goes back, it shows her, and then she hugs Kelsey before she walked down, and she goes, "Your mom is looking down on you right now, and she's so proud of you." And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
This is women supporting women.
Yes.
Even when it's not them, even
Right.
when they're losing,
Right.
they're lifting that other person up.
Yeah.
I was dead.
Yeah. I loved it.
I was dead. I'm still crying. It's like
I
a week
know.
later. And it was so awesome. And I was like, every woman should watch that. And I was watching it with Tegan, and that's why I was telling Kenzie and her friends, I'm like, this is how it should be.
Yes.
Even if it's your friend getting the opportunity or
Right,
whatever that
right.
you wanted, if you're confident in yourself. And then at the finale, Kelsey came out again and it showed them again. And they're like, you made history and you showed women how we should be with each other. And Kelsey was so good. And she said, you know what? Daisy is such a beautiful, incredible, wonderful woman. But I'm also a beautiful, incredible, wonderful woman. And that does, we don't discount each other. We are both those things.
Aww.
And I'm like, this is everything.
Yes.
I was so happy for The Bachelor, and happy for the way it worked out. And then the other thing that Daisy said, which I thought was really inspirational, was if I can love the wrong guy that much, think about how much I can love the right guy for me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and also kudos to The Bachelor because he was in that situation earlier and he felt blindsided at the altar, and he was careful enough, like he gave enough clues,
right,
and he wasn't telling them both the same thing up until the last minute.
Right.
That she wasn't blindsided.
Right.
She knew in her gut.
Yeah.
And she knew enough to ask the questions. So I loved The Bachelor. I just told you the entire story. But how amazing was that?
I love it. I wonder though if they're going to stay friends.
I don't know
if that's going to be.
Yeah.
That'd be hard.
And you don't have to stay friends necessarily if it's a hurtful situation for you to see somebody else.
But obviously it wasn't. Right, with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was hurtful. I'm sure it was. But I think the message is she was hurting, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't happy for her friend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can sustain that watching someone have a wonderful life with the person you're in love with or were in love with. But the important part is in the moment, she did the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she said something that really lifted her. I couldn't believe it. I was dead.
You're still crying this week.
I'm still crying. T was like texting with her friends. And she's like, are you crying? And then she's like, my friend Megan says that she's bawling. Everyone's like bawling in America. I'm like, I'm bawling. But it was, I can't imagine the courage and strength that took.
Yeah.
And it was really a good message for all. Because so many times as we're talking about Women's Month and you've been in the situation, I've been in the situation where somebody who you think is your friend or claims to be your friend or pretends whatever it is right there behind your back, not lifting you up.
Right.
And finding ways to try to keep you down even, which is why we can all be successful.
Yeah.
The story is there's room enough for all of us to be successful. And we should do everything we can to build each other up.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so I was going to talk about JLO, but I just did this whole like women's thing. And so I probably shouldn't talk about my feelings about the JLO documentary right now. Although I did have you seen the JLO documentary?
No.
All right. I won't tell you too much about it. I'm really torn on. Did you see the JLO documentary?
What is it on Hulu?
Yeah, I think so. So I saw the documentary. There's a movie.
Okay.
And then there's a documentary about making of the movie. And
that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And it's all about Ben and Jen, right? When they get back together?
Yeah, it's the greatest love story never told is what the documentary is called. I know. The part that really sticks with me though, if you watch it, and again, speaking of Women's Month is, and she admits this, like her or don't, she's very transparent, and she's JLo. She's a household name, and she still feels the need to prove herself.
Wow.
She still is insecure. And Ben talks about it. He talks about it. He's like, I'm just here to support her. You can tell he's wildly uncomfortable with all of it.
Yeah.
But why do as women, no matter what heights we reach, no matter what accomplishments we achieve, do we still feel the need to constantly prove ourselves?
Justification. Yeah.
So food for thought if you want to watch it and let us know.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, watch it. And if you've seen it or watch it, let us know what you think we're going to post this on TikTok and on Instagram. DM us. Let us know your comments.
Right.
What do you think about The Bachelor and JLo?
Now I got to watch. I've got my homework.
Yeah. And tell us your favorite Long Island spring events and make sure. And if you have a charity, we'll mention it. Yeah. We want to be engaged with our hot teas.
And our 2,000 new listeners.
And
come on.
Oh my God. We're like, now everybody's listening to us.
I love it.
And thanks again to Gurney's and to Harbor Pet for being our taste of Long Island.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
The Long Island Tea Podcast is brought to you by Discover Long Island. For exclusive access to contests and promotions, follow Long Island Tea Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And for questions, comments, and collaborative inquiries, email spillthetea@discoverlongisland.com.